Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/malicious compliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax and enjoy some malicious compliance. Call in sick 4 hours before work? Sure, enjoy your 4 AM calls. So someone said I should post this here. I'm working at a place with a shift system and a fairly critical service. Potentially, someone could have died if we didn't do our job. If enough people call in sick, bad things could have happened. This place therefore had a rule that you had to call in sick at least 4 hours before shift. But if you called in the day before, the boss's stated opinion was you're not being honest. Because how can you know that you are going to be sick the day before? Pretty BS. If my butt is encased on the porcelain throne at 6 PM and I'm sweating like a Catholic priest at sports day, it's pretty certain I'm not going to be skipping and singing to work tomorrow. Anyway, I'm the supervisor between boss and the peon, knowing that this is BS. Was pretty flexible about it. Text me, call me, do your best. Worry about getting better sort of thing. Have a good team helped. This is an important detail. As supervisor, I have the boss's personal mobile number. I am also a direct report to her. I didn't have a manager. I also, at the time, didn't get sick. It had been 3 years since my last sick day at that point. If you clicked this post, you've probably guessed where this is going. I got sick. On day 3, things got pretty bad. Hadn't slept, got home from work and basically spent the evening in bed having what felt like a heart attack as my pulse leapt through the roof. I decided to stick it out rather than go to the hospital or even an out-of-hours service. By midnight, I got on a pretty decent fever going on and I am lying in the bath trying to bring it down. There is exactly zero chance of me sleeping. Let's skip the hours between midnight and 4 because honestly, things got pretty dark. 4 AM rolls by. I'm due in at 8. Let's put those wheels of bureaucracy in motion, shall we? One last point. The boss is paid an additional bonus, 9% gross pay, to be on call. She must at all times answer the phone. I call the boss, she doesn't answer. I call the boss again, she doesn't answer. I call the boss a third time, she answers. My keen sense of deduction indicates she may be upset when she picks up with, "What are you calling me at this time for?" Pleasantries dispensed with, I get straight to the point. I'm sick. Really sick. I will not be in tomorrow morning, maybe for the whole day. I'm an optimist. This will get funnier later. We bounce back and forth between, "You don't get sick," and, "Well, I am," for a bit. And then she tells me I have to arrange cover with my number 2. It is requiring 100% of my remaining strength to make this phone call. I'm not arranging cover. Boss demands it. I refuse. I indicate that I am going to hang up soon. She finishes with, "You will arrange it, or better be in the hospital by the time I call you tomorrow. Never call me at this time again. I don't care if you're dying." Oh, reader, if you've made it this far, you now get to the twist of this little tale. I hang up. I sweat it out for the next 3 hours. My resting pulse is over 150. I'm getting chills and shivering in a hot bath. I'm having trouble breathing. It feels like what had been described to me as a panic attack. My local doctor has a clinic that opens at 7 AM. I'm there at 10 to 7. I am literally slumped on the ground outside the door as the doctor arrives. I am the first one to be seen. I sound like a teenager who is 2 words away from crying. I haven't been feeling. Doctor calls the hospital. It's all the signs of septicemia. Doc starts to sound worried. It dawns on me that it wasn't my brightest moment to not do anything about this during the night an ambulance is called. I insist on walking to the ambulance rather than being wheeled to it because I'm an idiot who is too proud sometimes. Doc's last words to me are, "Please let me know when you are discharged so I know it turns out okay." No doctor has ever said that to me before or since. I'm blue lighted to the hospital and taken straight into a ward where a group of doctors and nurses are waiting. I don't really have much of a coherent memory of the next 3 days. The next few after that were unpleasant. By the time I'm well enough to start thinking about work, my battery has died. I did not call my number 2, nor the boss. I get discharged, charge my phone, and find out at some point I texted the boss, "I'm in hospital, thanks." I got a ton of missed calls. The boss had immediately jumped to, "Oh no, is this really serious?" and started trying to cover for her comments. She's worried I will tell the boss what happened and realizes not one single bit of it makes her look good. She thinks the "thanks" at the end of the text meant I am angry and out to get her when I get back. Actually, too messed up to care at that point. I am signed off sick, on full pay, for 10 days, go for a check with my doctor at the end, and proceed to pass out in his office. "Doc, you sound really far away. I'm going to lie down." I signed off sick, on full pay, for a month. It's the better part of 3 months before I started to feel like myself again, and to be honest, the better part of a year before I'm back on form. Had a couple of other health issues since, which I find hard not to link to this. I come back. The 4-hour rule hasn't gone, but it has been replaced by, "You may report sick at any time. As a rule, if you are still sick at 8 PM, you are considered to be too sick for the following morning." I did not tell her boss. Life pro tip, don't be a douchebag. If I told her boss, yeah, she would have gotten crap, but I would have been that guy. A year later, I am promoted to a new position where the old boss now reports to me. She attempted a thoroughly insincere and messed up apology. I asked her to leave my office, but that's another story. That story was really hard to read, but there was 2 things that angered me. There was one, her telling her to find someone to cover for her. Like, that's not her job. I don't understand why any, bosses do that. Like, you're the boss, you need to find someone to cover. And the second point was, she got angry at her calling her at 4 AM, even though she's got a 9% bonus for being on call at any time. Like, I doubt it's every single 4 AM in the morning that she gets a call, so maybe 1 doesn't really matter that much for the 9% that she gets. We will take your allergy super seriously. So, I manage a busy restaurant in central London. We are normally fully booked weeks in advance, even for Mondays. This was a Thursday, and we were jam-packed. I was walking around making sure everyone was having a good time, and one of my waiters, super nice and competent guy, comes and asks me to take one of his tables. I have a policy that if anyone is giving my team a hard time, I'll take the table so they can stay on top of their game. He gives me a quick heads up that the issue is a woman didn't want to wait longer for her food despite having a severe nut allergy, and she was calling him stupid and saying stuff like, "Maybe McDonald's would be a better fit for you." I go over and talk to the lady. She is part of a group of 12, and right away she's already in my bad books. "Are you someone with a brain?" I look at her and laugh awkwardly and tell her, "Some people would argue, but I think so." My colleague tells me that there's an issue with your order. "Yes, I have a severe nut allergy, and he was saying things may contain traces and would take slightly longer, and asking dumb stuff like, 'Are traces okay?' I tried to explain to her as nicely as I could. "Oh, okay." He asked about traces to know if we can use the food that is already prepped. For a severe allergy, we can't use any of the ingredients that were prepped as there could be cross-contamination. So, what we would have to do is clean down a separate area and prepare everything from scratch. But, of course, we can time everything to come out at once so you can all enjoy your food together. And as for the may contain trace, that's just because we don't make all of our sauces ourselves, and some items are prepped in a central kitchen where we can't control. That being said, we have never had a problem with an allergy. She looks at me as though I just slapped a baby in front of her and says, "So, you are stupid too. Is it so hard to deal with an allergy? Our company is spending a lot of money here, and we booked 6 weeks ago. A restaurant like this shouldn't be so stressful. You can just make my food without nuts, and if I have a reaction, I'll sue. That's when I thought, she's right. So, I told her, you are right, I'm sorry, we can't serve you. The sauces can't be made from scratch, and because you are unwilling to accept a risk that's comparable to the risk you would take when buying anything packaged anywhere that says, may contain nuts, just to cover themselves legally, I'm going to have to say, we cannot safely serve you. To this day, when I think about her face, I smile. She was in shock. She immediately asked to speak to my manager, but was out of luck. I told her I was the general manager. Her friends didn't seem to care. I think it was a work thing because none of them reacted. But I was feeling petty since she insulted my team member and then me. So I addressed the whole table and said, I'm really sorry about this, and I wish we had known in advance so we could have prepped for such a severe allergy. I really don't want this to sour your evening, so I would like to offer everyone a cocktail on us to apologise. They were all really happy with this gesture. I take all of the drink orders, and before Allergy Lady orders her cocktail, I tell her, by the way, we have almond syrup and nuts in the bar, so I would only feel comfortable giving you something closed like a bottle of beer or a glass of wine. It cost me £250 to give away the round of drinks, but it felt so good to give her a bit of karma. The next day, I had a complaint on my emails and a bad review on TripAdvisor. Needless to say, I'd do it all again. I have a feeling this Karen type of character is the person in the workplace that nobody likes. That's why no one seemed to care when OP said, oh, we can't serve you. They were all just like, oh well. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.